Alright guys, welcome along to a Tier 5 World of Warplanes battle in the American light fighter, the P-40. I'm actually flying on the World of Warplanes Asia server in this battle. I've been invited by some friends to join the Perth clan on the Asia server. And so yeah, I took them up on their offer and went over and had a look to see how things are running on the Asia server. Now, before I go further, I will say that don't worry, I'm not leaving the NA server, nor am I leaving my clan X3M. Very happy there. And the way that that I see this working is that it's ideal for me to play on the Asia server in the evenings, because when at that time for me in America it's early in the morning and no one's playing. So normally when I play World of Warplanes, it's actually first thing in the morning on the North American server. So now I'll be able to play in the evenings on the Asia server, and I'll actually benefit from having better player numbers during both of those times that I play. So it's kind of the best of both worlds for me. I still get to enjoy the company and hang out on the NA server like I always have, but I also get to have a look at the Asia server, play amongst a different playing group and see how they compare and compare tactics and that kind of thing. And also I get to represent the Perth clan, which is cool because I'm actually from Perth in West Australia myself. So flying for them is a natural fit for me, and so far I've been very warmly welcomed there. And so yeah, in future videos you're going to see the two different clans on the side of my plane, and that'll tell you which server I'm actually playing on. So yeah, going forward, that's all you need to know. Right now I'm being tangled up by a player in a Bristol. He's caught me being a bit lazy to start with here, and got on my 6 and chopped me up pretty well. I wasn't using the strengths of the P-40 like I should have been there, and gotten out of his way, and consequently he's towed me up. So yeah, pretty average start to this battle, I suppose, but we'll see what we can do here. Second, our rocket base starting to pound damage on this airbase. I figure I'll go over here and try and pick it up. So the other new thing I need to talk about, which happened at the same time, relates to the way I play this game. And I've talked before about your control setup, using your pitch key and your pitch up and down key, adding those in, and getting better control over your plane for all kinds of different scenarios, really. But now I've been looking at the rudder controls, and here's the Stig again. But this time I've got the advantage coming in from above, carrying some speed, building some separation before I turn back around, and I can see that he's hampered by the tail crit that he's got, and easily able to swoop back and get the job done there. So now it's just a matter of trying to win this middle zone. Just about wiped out by these defense heavies, but it's sort of a happy accident because they parked right in front of my path there. So we're able to really quickly get on their 6 and chop them both out, and an extra light defense fighter right in the right place at the right time for me there. Piling a bit of damage on that AR-97, but I'm more concerned about the player in the BF-110E, the heavy. He doesn't look like he's seen me at this point. He's going after that bomber, so I'm going to get on his tail and see if I can get on the inside of the turn. I am going to wait here before I start attacking just to reel in that distance. And now that we're about 300 meters, that's ideal, and we'll burn him out. And that's the zone. We've got 4 now, so we'll cruise back into the middle. So, anyway, rudder controls. Every time I tried to use them before, it had been a disaster. It seemed like every time I tried to turn and then add rudder, it would just tip the plane out of the orientation that I wanted it. It seemed buggy and just made aiming even more difficult. So I've largely ignored the rudder controls in the entire time that I've played this game. Well, what I've found in the last couple of weeks is that that's a grave error, huge mistake, and once you figure out the rudder controls, you are now privy to the upper echelon handling characteristics that so many of these planes have but don't utilize, in that their rudder adds extra maneuverability and control, especially during a dogfight. So what I'm finding is that I'm able to shorten the distance on corners by cutting around on the extra axis. You can surprise your opponents with the unusual turns that you're able to make. You can dictate the pace and rate of the dogfight by having greater control over your nose, whether it's ascending or descending during the fight. You've got much quicker access to whether you want to turn horizontally or vertically, all sorts of things. And you will see me use it throughout the battle. I'll try and point it out. And we've just spotted marksman again, 110E. Seeing as we are on top here and we've got both the rocket bases, I'm going to go into pursuit, and I can see that he's diving down. I'm not going to dive all the way down there. I know that he's going to have to come up again pretty soon, so just starting to cut in on his turning circle here, and we're easily able to cut inside him with the P40 and its maneuverability versus the old heavy. So yeah, up to grade 1 now. Plenty of damage out in this game so far. Here is a Doe 17. Makes an easy target for me at the moment. I still got my boost there. I am going to use it now just to get this target dispatched, you might say. And yeah, heading back towards the spawn point now. It's really just a matter of staying on top of the opponents and keeping things as hard for them as possible until we run out the clock. Jumping on that Hurricane 2. Now you'll see an unusual arc in my turn here, and that turn right there is a perfect example of kicking the rudder while doing a loop, and what you end up doing is an impossible corner that you could never normally do with the ordinary controls. It is absolutely fantastic when you start rocking with it, and you can see another one here, kicking left on the rudder, which is tucking the nose in sooner than usual, which enables me to build speed, turn out faster, and get the guns on target a lot faster. Here is the Stig again. I've got my confidence up now. We both tried to avoid that collision. Fortunately, we still managed, even though we both pulled up. And here comes Stig, hot on my 6. He knows he's got me on the run, but I'm confident in my ability to climb and stay out of his way, and it's only a matter of time before the bots catch up with him. So we're just going to make sure that we don't get clobbered by his guns. Reverse now, keep climbing, and you can see him dropping away slowly, although he is getting a few light hits, and finally able to complete that reverse, get the kill, and bring home the win. So yeah, pretty convincing win there. All the badges, all the medals. Yeah, quite a fun one, and getting the hang of these rudder controls really does give the game a whole new dimension. Alright, so a bit of a look at the new hangars here. You can see the P40 with the Perth Armoured Squadron emblem there, and I've gone for the old eagle look for this one, being a bit of a West Australian symbol, I suppose. So yeah, when it came to picking which lines to go for the new account, I went for the BF-109E was the first plane that I beelined for, just because it's a very hard to counter tier 5 fighter, and I wanted to be able to get into the tier 5 battles and do well, so that certainly helped me do that. It then also allowed me to go and get the 190A5, which I really enjoy. The A1 not being quite the same category. I did grind through it, but I doubt I'll probably end up selling it. Then I went for the LA5, as I wanted something familiar. The LA5 was one of the first planes I spent a lot of time in on my first time round. So having something in the hangar that can combat the Spitfires and Zeros, and has some different handling characteristics to those meta planes, I find that quite an interesting and fun challenge. For the UK line, I went for the British multi-rolls. I feel like from the tier 4 Hurricane all the way through to at least certainly the Tempest, they're all really strong planes at their tier. The tier 5 getting the 20mm Hispanos and just absolutely ruining everywhere it goes. The Tornado being equally as good, and through to the Tempest with its rockets. Yeah, they're all great multi-roll planes. So that was my first stop for a multi-roll. I will stop in and grab the Key line again, the Japanese altitude fighters. Really enjoyed them. I'll be grabbing those again soon. I may go for a German ground attacker line, in case I need to do a bit of that, and probably the German bomber line if I need a bomber line. So yeah, that's largely it. The next thing I'll be working on is probably the P38 line as my first heavies, and obviously the German heavies I want to get as well. So yeah, that's how I approached my second account. It was a lot easier, obviously, having the hindsight of knowing what my favorites are and what I didn't like flying. It meant I was able to not waste any time on the other lines. So getting an account going really hasn't been too much of a chore at all. Part of that, though, I must admit, is largely thanks to this puppy. This is a gift from the Perth clan, so thank you very much for that. I will be doing a review of this plane soon. Yeah, having a tier 8 premium in the hangar really makes it easier to get an account going, as you can imagine. Extra silver and XP to share around, and also being able to level up a pilot has made a huge advantage. It's something I wish I knew earlier. What I used to do was throw in a new pilot for every new plane that I got and effectively start again. These days I take my pilots with me and just focus on at least getting the first sort of 8 points done for that pilot, so that he's not just a complete scrub. Because basically when you come up against a decent opponent in World of Warplanes, you can guarantee that he's not flying with a scrub pilot. He'll be flying probably an 8 or 10 or higher point pilot, and you know, depending depending how good you are, that's only going to go so far. So you really need all the help you can get, and that's something to be aware of, keeping that pilot with you. Anyway, that's enough for me for today. Thanks heaps for watching, guys. Really looking forward to continuing to cover both the Asia and the NA servers, and maybe compare some notes between the two. Yeah, thanks heaps for all the support, and we'll catch you on the next one. Keep on flying high.